Welcome. So, today we are going to do a question answer session. Alright. The first question is: education is described as an dash aspect of society. Okay. We will see the answer. Na? Operational. Alright. Okay. Within the context of a social system, education is classified as a social. आप इसका आंसर सोचिए और हम आंसर देखते हैं. Subsystem. Okay. Alright. What two orders of society does education primarily influence? Okay, we will see answer. The economic and social orders. All right. Historically, education was viewed as a pursuit reserved for people with. All right, we will see the answer. Laser. Already. What negative label was once applied to an educated man who avoided manual labor? What negative label was once applied to an educated man who avoided manual labor? Okay, we will see the answer. An idler. Alright, जो कि कुछ नहीं करता, बस बैठा रहता है. According to old beliefs, a person of high education was considered fit only to be an armchair politician, philosopher or मतलब पुराने बिलीफ के हिसाब से ना कि जो भी पर्सन जो भी बहुत ज़्यादा हाईली एजुकेटेड होते थे वे केवल नेता दार्शनिक या फिर और क्या बन सकते थे. थिंकर. ऑलराइट. Again, we will see the answer. During which era were Greek city-states at the zenith of their prosperity? The pre-Christian era. All right, great. What was the dual aim of education in ancient Greek city-states? See the answer. To prepare students for citizenship and participation in statecraft. All right. In the Greek city-state of Sparta, education was strictly controlled by the state. ठीक है. What specific type of training was mandatory for every individual in Sparta? I think it is military. हाँ, military training. All right. ठीक है. अच्छा, ये क्वेश्चन है कि मैंडेटरी मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग इन स्पार्टा वॉज डिज़ाइन फॉर द डैश ऑफ द सिटी स्टेट. मैंडेटरी आंसर क्या है? डिफेंस. ऑलराइट. व्हाट वाज द प्राइमरी क्राइटेरियन फॉर एजुकेशनल सक्सेस इन द स्पार्टन सोसाइटी? ओके, अटेनिंग फिजिकल एक्सीलेंस. ऑलराइट. Which group of philosophers significantly influenced the growth of individualism in Athens? क्या होगा इसका आंसर? The sophists. All right. In Athenian education, the philosophy of the sophist promoted the growth of. क्या है इसका आंसर? The philosophy of the sophist promoted the growth of individualism. ठीक है. What dictates the specific emphasis of an education system within a civilization? मतलब अच्छा, what dictates the specific emphasis of an education system within a civilization? The socio-political situation. All right. Name the first of the three identified periods in the history of Indian education. ये बहुत आसान है. ये देखो, इसमें एक तो होगा प्री ब्रिटिश, एक ब्रिटिश और एक पोस्ट ब्रिटिश. ऑलराइट. द प्री ब्रिटिश पीरियड. ओके, ठीक है. नेम द सेकंड ऑफ द थ्री. ये ब्रिटिश पीरियड है. नेम द थर्ड ऑफ द थ्री आइडेंटिफाइड पीरियड्स इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंडियन एजुकेशन. द पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस पीरियड. ऑलराइट, ठीक है. हिस्टोरिकली व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वर्क वाज एन एजुकेटेड पर्सन थॉट टू डिसलाइक? वर्किंग विद वंस ओन एज. ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया. एजुकेशन ड्यूरिंग द ग्रीक जेनिथ एरा इनेबल्ड यूथ टू सक्सेसफुली पार्टिसिपेट इन मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग है. क्या है? नहीं, स्टेट क्राफ्ट. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. सेक्शन. ओके, अच्छा ये यूनिट दिया है और एजुकेशन एज अ सोशल सबसिस्टम. ऑलराइट. ओके. Of the unit outlines the various dash of education. Functions of education. Okay. Between education and social change. Alright. Education and economic development. Oh, सही है. That was the unit question between education and political. अरे सही है. According to the unit structure society. अच्छा देखो unit society is viewed conceptually as a system. सही है. What was the historical perception of an educated man's physical work ethic? What is the historical perception? He was perceived as an idler who did not like to work with his hands. Alright. Jaldi. In which city state was attaining physical excellence in the main cooking? Say yes, Sparta. The sophist and the philosophy were most significant in which Greek city state? I mean, it is Athens. Say yeah. How does education relate to the socio-political situation in the history of India? कैसे भाई? Emphasis of education age period. Okay. Greek pre-Christian education aimed to prepare youth for citizenship. All right. Education was once considered an armchair pursuit for people who did not work with their hands. और बाप रे. The Spartan education focused on defense through the mandate of military training. बड़ा ही आसान है. Individualism is a key educational outcome associated with ancient Greek Athens. Okay. The structure of the unit places the concept of system under which main heading. Okay. Okay, education is a social subsystem. Yeah, रटन तो करते हैं. What is the primary theme of? अरे. Education as an operational aspects of society. All right. ठीक है. दूसरा क्या है? Historically, why were educated men considered idlers? Because they don't work with their hands. Because they were believed to prefer leisure and mental tasks over manual labor. All right. Education influences society's dash order and economic order. Political, social order. अच्छा ठीक है. In Sparta, the better training of individuals was required for the state's citizenship, defense, who promoted individualism in Athens through their philosophy. Sophists. The sophists. Okay. The pre-British period is part of the history of education in which country? India. The post-independence period followed which era in Indian educational history? The British period, right? What era of Greek history emphasized student preparation for a statecraft? The pre-Christian era, alright. Which Greek cities or state's education system was entirely state-controlled? Sparta. ठीक है. What do you have? Education is viewed as a social subsystem because it operates within the larger social system होगा ना, society. ठीक है. The unit title says that education is an sub-aspect of society, operational aspect of society. So ठीक है. Success in Sparta education required achievement of physical excellence. All right. Athenians' education is specifically noted for its promotion of individualism. What determines how civilizations design their own education systems? Okay, their unique socio-political situations and needs. All right. 50. Historically, an educated person was often stereotyped as an armchair politician. All right. So we are done. Okay.